You think say you sabi Naija music? Old school or new school? Come show yourself for Gusto Gets the Song. You go win better. Call the number wey dey appear for your screen so. Naija music come win money.
Welcome to Gusto Reactions once again. Thank you so much for always liking and sharing, subscribing, of course telling your friends about what we do right here at Gusto TV. We love and appreciate every one of you. Back in 2015 actually, the PSQUARE brothers actually got into a fight, and it was really messy. Got back, in 2016 and did bank a lot. And then they went their separate ways again in 2017. And ever since then, it's been Mr. P and of course Rudeboy, doing their thing. Paul, has been quite consistent, as well as Peter. Jude Okoye went with Paul Okoye, that's Rudeboy, and Peter has been doing his thing with his manager, MM. In terms of albums, Mr. P has dropped his own album first, The Prodigal, and Rudeboy has dropped his right now. That one titled RudyKillUs. It's been quite a journey for these guys, and for Rudeboy, a lot of people believe that Rudeboy was the brain behind PSQUARE in terms of the singing part. This album did no little to convince us away from that, assertion. What do you think about this album? What do you think about Rudeboy himself?
Well, it's no surprise that ever since the splits, I'm started to hear individual songs from. Everyone could tell that yes, in terms of the PSQUARE sound or the melody, everyone could. It was clear that yes, this was Rudeboy's doing. Whether he was the brain behind the writing, but in terms of the actual singing and the melodies, that was Rudeboy's doing. Some sort of, and then when you hear a Rudeboy sound, you would know, you could tell.
Oh yeah. But
for Mr. P, in terms of the dancing, choreography of all these videos, and some certain songs, judging by his personal works, you could easily now go back and say that this song is Mr. P's idea, or that song is Rudeboy's idea. So having a Rudeboy now made it look like Rudeboy has continued the PSQUARE route. Like he's taking the identity of PSQUARE as his own, and he's showcasing that even more and more with this new album. As with Mr. P, where the sound is totally different. You have to now warm your hearts to him and genuinely like him for what he is, with his kind of songs and everything. Although sad thing to see between the two of them, but it is what it is. So this album, RudyKillUs or RudyKillUs.
RudyKillUs.
It started well. I kind of like what they did. They made previous songs that had gone viral, that are big, and they made them bonus tracks on the album. They made they made sure that it wasn't part and parcel. Although digitally it's there and it helps the numbers of the album, but in the official thing you just see 12 of these songs, new songs, with only just one song that has been released in focus. He started the album well with a what's it called? He started with
Nowhere to Go.
Nowhere to Go, but Nowhere to Go is not actually a sample,
a medley.
Like a mashup.
A mashup,
of various PSQUARE lyrics and songs. That's what I don't know what he was trying to do, but I think he was just trying to send a message that you see all these hit bangers that you people like, that you thought it was PSQUARE. I sang that. I created that. I think that's
not a statement.
Yes, that's what it is, because it's first track on the album. Why else would you want to do such a thing? You can't just do a mashup for mashup's sake. If you wanted to leave PSQUARE behind, you would leave PSQUARE behind. But this was him trying to make a statement and saying, you see all these songs that, in case you didn't know, I'm the brain behind this, and he used those lyrics he mashed everything up. In terms of direction of the song, what story was he trying to tell? It wasn't clear. It was just a mashup of these other songs. Then he moved on and started doing songs like Ayoyo, Focus. Focus had been released as a single before the album dropped, and it's a good track.
Yeah.
All in all, he had really good attempts at some of these songs, but you couldn't just tell the difference. What you could just tell was, oh, this sounds like PSQUARE. And that's exactly what this album is for. The statement he's trying to make is, this is PSQUARE. Rudeboy is PSQUARE.
Did he really do this because he still wanted to ride on the PSQUARE popularity wave, or it's because he really wanted to show that he sang the song? Because a couple of these songs sounded like, you would, for anyone who maybe didn't know the news, of course the news everywhere, but for anyone who, let's just imagine that no one knew about the news of the PSQUARE breakup, this album comes out, you wouldn't know if Mr. P was on it or not. It's a PSQUARE-esque, kind of songs. I mean,
it doesn't have a choice. It can't change the style. That's what it is.
This is style.
It's just unfortunate that he on the PSQUARE, while there was PSQUARE, he was like what's that word now? He was the majority shareholder in terms of content creation, majority content creator of PSQUARE.
Yeah.
He was that.
That was not news.
In terms of audio. So I wouldn't expect him to change his sound because of that. That's who he is. That's who he always did. Ever since the split, all the songs he has always made, you could always tell that's what Rudeboy is, and that's what he went for.
Yeah.
Then he created songs along those lines. You could, if you're a PSQUARE fanatic, you would love this album because it looks like you're listening to PSQUARE.
Yeah.
And that's not like he intentionally went for that. That's just who he is. That's just how he's been, even during the PSQUARE era and even now.
But would you say he had that in mind while causing something?
No, even if it doesn't have to have it in mind. It's who he is. It's who he is. Going to the songs that he really did well on.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of them. He really did well. Some of the songs, you'd feel the usual cheesy lines that you hear from PSQUARE. He's responsible for that.
Yeah.
He's just like, things like I want to, and now if you cure my fever or something like that. Now if I need your paracetamol and agbalumo, now if you cure my fever. Those kind of cheesy lines, you see a lot of similarities like that on this album, because he's simple like that. Because when you watch his interviews, the way he articulates himself, you feel like he's not really comfortable sometimes. But when he sings, he has a good voice, he has good tonations and everything, and he does that well. Yeah. Songs that I really like on this album that I think he did well, Catch Your Fever. Although the cheesy lines that I mentioned, I think that's from Catch Your Fever, and he did really well on that. Fall in Love, a bit of reggae kind of songs on there that he did well. I think that's Brokeland. Ayoyo is fast paced, very nice. Focus has been released before and was very nice. Overall, I feel that this album is PSQUARE like. I could say it's PSQUARE, just missing a Mr. P.
Mr. P.
And whether people like it or not, sometimes Mr. P can be the X factor in some of these songs, because these ideas are also important. And when it comes to visuals, Mr. P's performance, dance steps, they usually make the visuals more interesting and let people enjoy it. Yeah. That being said, Rudeboy has also had very decent visuals since he started being on his own. The visuals for what's it called? His popular song, Reason With Me, and things like very iconic.
Very big in East Africa as well.
Very big. Yeah. He's going to play on that. He already has a huge fan base in those ends, and it's really good for him. All songs written and produced by
Paul Okoye. Yeah.
Everybody knows Paul Okoye. Wood is what's his name? Rudeboy is the writer of all his songs.
Yeah.
Whether he produced all of it.
Look at what they said here.
Oh, okay.
Beats produced by. So for all of these guys,
beat makers.
They are the beat makers.
Okay. All beats.
So he probably took the beats from them and he recorded himself
and everything else. Yeah.
By himself, basically.
And then project supervisor. I would have thought that executive producer would have been, because that's what we see every time on the past work. Yeah. Maybe that has changed with Rudeboy as well.
To the label.
I don't know what this is doing on the artwork
anyway. Supervise the project. Anyways, Rudeboy, no feature. I mean, all of these things. This is my opinion now. I was all of these things. Rudeboy tried to make a massive statement with this. Now, number one, no feature. 2, he said beats produced by. So they know. I mean, this guy is an able guy. I feel that this guy was a very stubborn guy.
He
wants to let people know that, see, this thing I can do it.
But who is the producer of the song though? Who is the producer of the song?
of a
When you
song.
say someone produced the song, what did you do?
You produce the beat actually.
Yeah, but that's the beats guy.
That's the beat.
You don't do you know that usually artists have their beats, right? Purchased from someone else. But then they go to a producer who records them, right?
Yeah.
But when it's time to release the song, another person mixes, right? Sometimes it's the producer that mixes.
Yeah.
But when you're doing your rights and everything, there's no rights for beatmaker. There's only rights for
No,
producer.
No, I don't.
No, I mean digitally when you're submitting your song, there's nothing like beatmaker.
Yeah, beatmaker, and that's why people would normally give credit. If I take a beat from you and go and record it with,
so who produced it?
You produced it.
Who?
You, Big Lala.
Not Fuse.
No, at all. At all.
Not Fuse.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. That's how it is. Anywhere in Nigeria today that I know of. I know so many, because the truth is artists cannot go to the studio. Or Olamide, for example.
So what's the job of Fuse in this?
Eh?
What's the job of Fuse?
He's just the guy that recorded him.
Can't the artist record himself?
Well, if the artist does not know now, for this one now, Paul, you get, he was the one that recorded himself. Now, for him to say that he is the one that produced all the songs and everything, well, I don't know about that. Honestly speaking.
But he recorded himself. So this is clear. That's why I said this. Look, he said beats produced by.
Would this be a new thing in Nigerian music industry right now?
I don't know, but he now said all songs written correct by Paul
and produced
by. What was his duty in this? Is it that he got the beats from them, recorded himself? Because I highly doubt that these artists end up recording themselves. They usually have someone in studio. Yeah. I'm guessing it's going to be Chris Strings, because he has the majority of this. Unless you guys are trying to divide something else entirely. To the best of my knowledge, the person that is with you while you're recording, is the producer of that whatever, because he's responsible for sometimes the arrangement while recording. Don't you know? He's responsible, because if you are misyanning and you're doing things that you're not supposed to do, he tells you no, don't do it like this, do it like this. It's part of the process. Yeah. But if you don't say he's the producer, that's why you now see people say co-produced. He could have just said, the producer of this track 1 is Key Strings, co-produced by himself. That would make sense, rather than dividing
all of this. Maybe all songs written and co-produced by Paul Okoye or something.
But he said everything produced by no problem.
Anyways, no features on
no features. It was always going to be monotonous in that regard. I think the different producers, beats producers on the album made sure that at least there was some variety. Like I said, there was some reggaeton, dancehall kind of beats on there, and he did his thing on that. In terms of picking out what song do I feel is going to be the one that's the star song on it is hard, because some of these songs, they were just there. I'm looking at how all of them are performing. The one that seems, because it's the first song on the album, Nowhere to Go, and it features lyrics from past PSQUARE songs. People already relate to that, and it sounds well. I think Ayoyo is going to do well. The next one I like is Catch Your Fever, and I feel the next single he's going to pick to push will determine how far this album will go. Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's have your thoughts on that one. Is it a hit or a miss for you?
No, it's a good album. I'm going to give it a 7 over 10. Nice one by Rudeboy.
Dope. Well, guys, let's have your thoughts on that one, Rudeboy, with the RudyKillUs, the album, beats produced by, all songs produced by. What do you think about all of that? And which of the songs is your star song? Of course, tell us about the PSQUARE, influence on this album. Tell us why it has no features on this album. Tell us everything you think we need to know about your thoughts on this album. Put everything down below, and if you don't agree with Big Lala, put everything down below as well. See you on the next one. Peace.